you know what? You could plan it out as much as you want, and it doesn't much matter. What's gonna happen is what's gonna happen. That's life, you know. Loud trucks, loud cars coming by, it's all the same thing. So if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. That's the way it's gonna go. With that said, DTPC Podcast episode 2.5. 2 if you're on the audio version. Let me explain the designation to that. YouTube and the audio version we want them to run concurrent, but with the numbering difference, we have to have a way to offset it. In the 2 for the audio version and 2.5 for YouTube, that's going to offset it just right. So the next one recorded is going to be actually episode 3. So before we get too far ahead of ourselves, there's the explanation for that. I'm your host, Nick Kennedy, and this is episode 2. With that 2.5 designation out of the way, I just want to talk about like the trials that I've been going through and Dave's been helping out with, like figuring out the sound and all the issues. It is some crazy stuff when it's not something that you do normally. You know, I know computers and that, but audio, a whole different field that I've never been involved with. So, you know, knowing your equipment and doing research ahead of time really helps out. And, you know, hopefully anybody else that wants to get into doing like a podcast or whatever. And not only that, we added in live streaming with the podcast. So, yeah, it gets a little technical sometimes, but it's not too bad, I guess. We also want to get rid of this from behind angle. You know, I guess we could set up over there to my left for anybody listening. And, I mean, that may look better, but we just want to get rid of the angle altogether and do like, if there's more than one person sitting down, we're going to get a video switcher and do the talking head thing with the video version. You know, whoever's talking will be the one that's on camera. Video switcher later on. Many plans, but you know, you got to take it one step at a time. Just doing these first few episodes to get it all established and get it out there. Other than that, continually working on your sound and finding out what you can do and can't do. That's another big thing. Like, I've been working on it like in spare time for weeks, months actually. Like, it's something new. So if you want to do this, unless you know somebody or have somebody that's a sound engineer to help you out, man, be prepared to learn some new stuff. But that, you know, that goes without saying with any new hobby. You're definitely going to learn. And anyone watching, I'm sorry. I talk with my hands a lot. Heck, I even talk to myself a whole bunch. So no real danger. No, you know, for anybody in the vicinity. Harmless. You know, just one of them people that talks to himself constantly. So, also the studio, aka shop, or shop, aka studio, whichever way you want to designate it, if you must, is going to be an ever evolving thing until we get, you know, what I mentioned in the other episode, till we get the table in and everything, get that all set up, wiring reran. You know, it's a good project, but it's a big project. Yeah, can't wait to do it. Can't wait for winter to be over. And that's another thing. Just like the whole process of learning all this new, like I kind of wanted to document it and put it out there. Not that I'm good at tutorials or good at helping anybody else figure stuff out, but if I can document a bunch of my blunders and mess ups, bloopers, if you know what you will, whatever you want to call them, I'll put it out there. You know. And not only that, it's going to be something to look back on. On top of that, the most important factor is I'm having a blast doing it. This is so much fun. Challenging, yes. Fun, most definitely. That's the best part about it. Like anything fun, anybody that works should be into having fun. You know, working, nobody wants to work. Unfortunately, that's, you know, one of the aspects that life involves. Everybody works hard so we can exchange green pieces of paper. Probably not the way the world was meant to be, but hey, that's, you know, how it currently is. So Oh, I had notes here, but I never follow them. I just kind of go off the cuff and whatever comes to mind. So hopefully I want to figure out how to organize stuff better in the future to not make it as random for what's, anybody listening. Also, like I said, not a professional at this. The only thing I actually have is the live stream. We're not recording the audio version, but hopefully, if this isn't like a big buffer fest, I can pull the audio off of YouTube. So, with that said, where am I at? I never know. Like, you think you're talking for 10 minutes? You're not. You're talking for like 5 minutes, 23 seconds, actually, when I looked. So, any criticisms, ideas, helpful comments, hurtful comments, we'll take it all. Ideas for the studio, what you want to see, whatever. Future plans. These first few episodes, like, this is like, I can't state this enough. New hobby, new passion, whatever. Gonna be ever evolving, trying to get better at it. So, yeah. When you get lost, you get lost. The first few episodes are just going to be scatterbrained, unorganized. This is just, we're trying to get the groundwork laid out to do this and do it with some kind of intelligible format that makes sense. Or when there's just one person talking, that's one person talking. We want to get multiple people involved, sit down, having conversations. The teaching stuff, if there's ever little tips or whatever, or I have a chance to remote into a computer to show something, that is a plan. That's not really for the podcast though. That's like just the open hours thing. Even though anything I do I designate as the open hours, that's something I'd like to do separate from the podcast. I'll just do that as an individual live stream. So audio listeners, I don't think you want to hear something that has like a video explanation. But feel free to go watch it on YouTube. There's probably a million people who are going to do it better than me. That's why I don't throw every little thing up. Just stuff that, bothered me for a little bit or gave me trouble trying to figure it out. Or interesting stuff, like new things that I've never seen. Yeah, I'll definitely make videos about that. Anyhow, this is episode 2. I'm going to wrap it up here. Head home. Work's done for the day. The after hours podcast session done. It was a one-man band thing again. People have lives. So, as always, hopefully you didn't learn anything, or if you did, you're welcome. Probably not though. I don't put out very useful information. And just take care of each other. Do what you do. Try to look up instead of down. The bickering, fighting, not necessary. Life's good. So, I will catch everybody. Episode 3 coming up soon. Real soon.